Hello, my name is Elliot Fleming, and welcome to my channel, Magic is Medicine. On the channel, I'm going to look to interweave personal stories with sleight-of-hand magic in ways that are meaningful to me. And I'd like to start here today with a personal story. When I was in grade 7, I was struggling very greatly with perfectionism. And it was actually so bad that I had so much anxiety around it that I wasn't able to go to school. And for a portion of time, my work was sent home to me. After a while, I slowly was integrated back into the school system by going to my own separate room for small portions of the day with a teacher's assistant who was very kind to me at the time. And then eventually, I started to go into small portions of class for a little bit longer each day until I was fully integrated back into the school system. But even throughout junior high and high school and even into university, that anxiety never went away. It always remained with me. In school was, quite honestly, nothing but fear, nothing but upset stomachs, afraid that I would get an answer wrong on a test, afraid that I would get an answer wrong when I was asked to respond, afraid that I wouldn't be prepared or would be late for class. And it was a lot of fear at the time. I was also a very good golfer when I was younger. When I was 14, I won provincially for my age group. But by the time I was 15, the golf tournaments became so much anxiety that they weren't any fun anymore. And something that I was passionate about, the enjoyment just fell from it. And so I want magic to be different for me. I want that passion to remain. I want that freedom of creative expression to remain. Because when you're trying to get things perfectly, it becomes very hard to be creative. It becomes very hard to allow yourself to go through the process and to grow. And you essentially limit yourself by trying to get things perfectly. I was a long time trying to understand perfectionism, trying to understand what it was. And I come to see it now not so much as the problem as it was the way I dealt with the problem. And the issue was that I never liked the feeling of being embarrassed. I never liked the feeling of not being good enough. And in order to avoid those feelings and those sensations, I tried to get things perfectly. And when I couldn't get perfectly, I stopped doing. The other thing that I tried to avoid was criticism. And not only criticism from others, but criticism from my own mind. It often tends to see what went wrong rather than what went right. And so there was this constant strain to get everything perfect in order to avoid these feelings and in order to avoid these thoughts. So I'd like to challenge that here today by doing something called a 4-coin roll. Now a 4-coin roll, it's not a magical effect so much as it is a flourish. Maybe I'll just show you. This is a single coin. And this is time slowing down. Oh, my watch is just broken, sorry. That or it's been 10 a.m. for the last 3 years now. Here's the second coin. And now we're going to add the third coin. Now, you're probably wondering why anybody would ever take the time to learn this. That's a fair question. If I had to think about it, it would probably be to pick up chicks. Although, the guitar would have been a much better option. Now here comes the fourth coin. And this is where I suspect John Mayer's going to come in. Because gravity is working against me. And gravity wants to bring me down. There's two. There it goes. I'm just trying now to take a different approach in life. And rather than spending so much energy and so much anxiety trying to get things perfect, to just make space for that feeling of embarrassment, to just allow it to be here, to not spend so much time trying to run from it, to try and avoid it. And even that part of my mind that's critical tells me I'm not good enough, or need to do that better, I should get that right, I should know how to do that by now. You know, all those thoughts can be there, but understand that just because they're there doesn't mean they're true. In the book Robinson Crusoe by Daniel Defoe, a man was shipwrecked on an island for 27 years, and he spent the majority of that time alone. And I quite enjoyed the book because a lot of the conversations were essentially with himself and with his own mind, and it allowed me to see into the inner world of another person in a way that you don't often get to. But he said something very interesting in that book. He said that it's easier to meet a fear face to face than it is to think about it, which is something that's honestly quite incredible. If we can be present to a difficult situation, it's actually easier to handle than thinking about the difficult situation. Now, I wanted to start with this here today because I think that vulnerability is necessary in order to experience magic. I feel in order to allow yourself to experience the performance, to experience the wonder, you have to allow yourself to be vulnerable. Because so long as you think that a person is trying to trick you or make you look stupid or belittle you, then your whole focus is oriented around how does that trick work, rather than experiencing the performance and what the performer is trying to say and what they're trying to communicate through their art. And I didn't feel as though it was appropriate for me to ask my audience to be vulnerable if I wasn't first willing to do so. And that's why these coins have hit the floor here today. I do magic in order to empower people, in order to make them look at their situations in their life differently. Because I know what it means to suffer, and I know what it means to struggle. And I also have become very good at finding mindsets and ways and looking at things differently in order to handle things. And I'd like to share that with everyone. I also look for this to be a creative space. I look for it to be a place where people can come in search of answers, but also a place where I can look for answers too. And if these things sound like something that interests you, please like and subscribe. If I got it right, there should be a little submarine drawn down in the corner, the couple goldfish. And also in the comment section down below, tell me a fear that you have, something in your life that holds you back, something that your mind tells you that you're not capable of doing. And know that whatever it is, you already have the courage inside you to confront it and to face it and to overcome it. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your days. This is a test run for my video. I just want to make sure that half of my head isn't cut off like the previous one I just shot. And I kind of like to make sure that my slippers aren't showing in this one. Damn it!